Hey guys, welcome back to Writing with Miss Maxie. Happy Tuesday. I'm excited to jump into our writing lesson with you today. It is day 12 and we are still in step 6, revise. So we have zoomed all the way through. This should be our last day in step 6, revising. All right. The materials you'll need for today are your iReady writing book and a pencil. And our I can statements are I can analyze a mentor text, I can identify time order words, and I can incorporate time order words correctly. So to get started today, we are going to open up our books to page 58. Page 58. It should look like this. You'll see lesson 2, step 6, revise, continued, and modeled instruction. So today we're going to finish revising our narrative paragraphs. First, we're going to learn about time order words and how they can make our writing more clear. So let's read this modeled instruction right here. You can improve your narrative by adding time order words. These words tell the order of events. Time order words: first, next, then, later, soon, and finally. Now these are just a few examples of time order words, and you won't always have to include every single one of them. It's just a good list to get you started. You can pick a couple to use. Okay? But I have a question for you. What do you notice about these words? Which word might you use in the beginning of a narrative? In the beginning? Probably the word first, right? Because it tells you what happens first or in the beginning. What about for the middle? Which words would you use? Probably next and then, right? Because it tells you what happens after the beginning in the middle. What about for the end? Which words would you use at the end? Finally, right? Or maybe later as well. Okay. So how do you think that time order words help writers produce strong and clear narrative paragraphs? You might have said that you think time order words can help writers produce strong and clear narrative paragraphs by writing the events in order. And you are absolutely correct. That is how they help us. Let's see how Ava used time order words in her paragraph. So here's a little excerpt from the mentor text, and we will read through it together. George first became interested in plants as a little boy. He decided to create a special garden. He watched the plants and learned. Show me how you grow, he whispered. Then, one day, a woman asked George to look at a rose bush. So I see here that the word first and the word then have been circled. And over here at first, it says, the word first shows the beginning of how George became a plant doctor. And then if we look at the word then, it says the word then tells my readers that another event is happening after the first event. Okay, so we can see in Ava's example how she used time order words to put her story in order and make it clear and strong. She told us what happened first, and then she told us what happened then, right? All right, so let's get into some more practice here. We're gonna go over to page 59. And in this activity on this page, we are going to practice using time order words to show events in order. All right, let's read our instructions. Guided practice. Revise each sentence pair. Circle the time order word that makes the order of events clear. All right, let's try number 1 together. Number 1. George dug up a tiny plant. He carried it carefully to his garden. George dug up a tiny plant. First or then he carried it to his garden. Let's read our hint. Which word tells what happened after George dug up the plant? Would it be first or then? What do you think? I think you are absolutely right. It is then. I don't know if you can see that circle. Hold on. There we go. George dug up a tiny plant, then he carried it carefully to his garden. Because first he dug up a tiny plant, right? You can't carry a plant if you haven't dug it up yet. Okay, so we've done the first one together. I want you to take some time, pause your video, and go through and complete numbers 2 and 3 on your own. Complete numbers 2 and 3 on your own. And then we will go over it together. So welcome back. I hope you have paused your video and done number 2 and 3 on your own. Now let's go over it together. Number 2, he looked for a long time. He studied the rose bush. First or finally, he looked for a long time. Hint, which word tells how George began to solve the problem? Well, if we're just looking at these 2 sentences and we're trying to figure out which one happened first, I would say the first one. So our answer here is first. He looked for a long time and then he studied the rose bush. Okay, if you want to change your answer, feel free to pause the video and change whatever you need to, and we will move on to number 3. George studied peanut plants for many years. He understood how the plants could help farmers. George studied peanut plants for many years. Next, or finally, he understood how the plants could help farmers. Hint, which word means after a long time? Next or finally? I would say finally, because if you are really looking forward to something or you've been working on something for a long time, you're like, I'm finally done, or it's finally time. So finally means after a long time. Again, feel free to pause your video, change your answer if you need to, and then come back and we'll go on. Okay, so I just have one more question for you, and that is, why does the time order word first go before or after the time order word finally? Why does the time order word first go before or after the time order word finally? You might have said that you have to do something first before you can finally do something else, and you are right. So, the next thing I want you to consider is, how do time order words improve your writing? How do time order words improve your writing? So I just want you to keep that in your mind and be thinking about that. And for your assignment on Schoology today, I'm going to ask that you upload a picture of your completed page 59. So you should have circled the words as we went through them, and all you have to do is take a picture and upload it to Schoology so we can tell that you're doing your work. All right, that's all I have for you for writing today. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good afternoon.